All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Melas, but you can call me Eli for short. And who is this amazing lady here to my right?
Hello, all. My name is Dawn Ledgerwood, and I am your girlfriend, and this is Bochi, who would like to make his camera appearance today. Come on, let's get down, buddy.
Yes.
Alrighty, so yes, I am your girlfriend, and my name is Dawn Ledgerwood.
That's right. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Right there on the screen.
Yes.
It says Dawn Ledgerwood, and for me it says Elias Eli Melas. All right. Anyway, with that being said, welcome back to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. Today is episode 50, and we're talking about something that affects almost everyone online. Internet laws versus real world laws. One more time, episode 50 of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast is about internet laws versus real world laws, because sometimes it feels like the internet has its own legal system, instant verdicts, public accusations, comment section juries. But that's not how real law works. So today, we're breaking down the difference between how things feel online and how things actually function in the real world. Very interesting, babe, right? Very
absolutely, yeah.
But before we get to that, as always, we have to start off with our wonderful, beautiful, amazing monologue. And I'm going to ask you, how has the past week been here at the GNA, which is short for Genuine Networking Association? I know you have a lot to talk about this week, right?
Yeah, I would say so. But obviously, I'll keep it short because we don't want to go too long.
We're good, baby. We're good. We've got unlimited tape here. It's digital. It's not really tape. It's just digital. And the hard drive is huge. 2 terabytes.
I know. I'm just saying I don't want to drag it out too much for a long... Because, I'm thinking of the listeners,
Oh, okay.
So I figure I'm just going to, cliff
Get
note
down to the
things.
meat and potatoes, right?
Yes.
All right. Go right ahead, babe. How's it been?
So the week's been great. The GNA, like I've said in the past, is something that he's in charge of. He knows all of the details of how busy things are in between the shows that we do. And so I just want to say it's actually been quite a nice week. You've taken a couple days off from your walking streams.
Absolutely.
I think that's really helped kind of calm the situation that's going on. But as far as myself, I had a great week. I had some great conversations with people that I love. And just a pretty chill week. Now, for our YouTube watchers on our GNA personal development, over this weekend, I was unable to join the stream he was doing, a walking stream. This is because I was on a very serious, important phone call with a very good friend. I'm not going to go into very many details, but because he spoke of it over that stream, I'm going to just, I'm just going to bring it right down.
No sugarcoating allowed
no
here
sugarcoat.
at the GNA. We get right down to business.
Yeah. Basically, times are tough right now. There's a lot of costs increasing. And a lot of changes happening.
Affordability is what you're talking about.
Affordability.
Right.
She is currently, the work she does is very slow right now. So she isn't bringing in the money that she used to bring in. And she's feeling that she's not contributing, and she's like really struggling with that, and causes tension between any relationship. So what she really needed was to talk to a friend, with the
that's been dealing with the same exact thing with me.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
The Affordable Health Care Act really messed with her because her mental health was essentially like rerouted to somebody else, and she spent 2.5 years with this one therapist. Basically got through all her breakthroughs, everything, and then now she's got to start over with somebody she doesn't know, establish trust, and then relive all of her traumas again to another therapist, where she had already gotten through that stage. So her anxiety's a little out of control.
Yeah, real quick, just step in because I still can sell insurance. I'm licensed here in the state of California to sell property and casualty and life and health insurance. Last year, for this year's policies, many providers of health insurance either reduced or eliminated mental health coverage. So it's not all plans on the Affordable Health Care Act. The Affordable Health Care Act pretty much has similar plans to the real world plans. They're just subsidized by the federal government with federal tax credits based on your level of income, what you can afford, and they'll subsidize the rest. But we're not going to go into deeper detail about, what plan she's on right now, because that's a privacy thing. We're not going to get into that. But I wanted to make it clear that, yes, some plans were affected for mental health coverage, but many other plans didn't change. All they did was increase their premium.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
So, yeah, that's a struggle.
And then the government did not approve the extended Affordable Care Act credits, which they're still working on that, but the regular Affordable Care Act credits are still there, which do make a difference. But the extended ACA Affordable Care Act credits would have made it a little bit even more affordable for people. But go ahead. I wanted to clear that
which
up.
is another reason she reached out to us. She knows that he knows insurance inside and out. She asked a couple basic questions. He was able to answer them. And she needed the support of somebody she knew had gone through a lot of the same things that she has gone through. So it was a great conversation. It really was. It was balancing, like for both of us. It really, it really solidified the relationship that we have and the closeness. Now, I think I've mentioned this in the past. Now, this particular friend, her and I share the same birthday. She's younger than me, but the birthday is May 16th. And so already, soon as I found that out, instant attraction as far as friendship. And we got along, and we are so much alike. And so that's why when things get rough, we are each other's person. So made me feel good. She felt comfortable enough to reach out.
Yep.
She wasn't embarrassed to talk to me about all this. And I believe I really helped her. And you know what? That's what we do at the GNA.
Well, and let's add a few more things, because I shared a little bit more about the story because you haven't heard the entire stream. I basically shared with you privately what I've said publicly on the stream. I think what this all boiled down to, when it comes down to your friend and yourself, and probably most, if not all, other women nowadays, I think women are still fighting to try to prove that they're just as good as men. Women were liberated, decades ago. And over the years, we've had a second and third wave of feminism The third wave was in the 90s, and now in the 2000s, it stemmed off from the 90s. And most decent men like myself have already looked at women as equal, right? So I look at Dawn as my equal. Now, she may be better at some things than I am, but I'm better at other things than she is. We're not competing. We are working together as a team.
No, I cook better, and he's, the IT person. Those are you
definitely cook better than I do. But
those are just two things,
Yeah.
But he is also very good at being organized and meticulous and clean at the same time.
Clean, and I also take care of, the bills and all the clerical work, and I'm the IT guy in the house, and if the internet goes down or TV goes down, it's me. And
yeah.
So the thing
but
is,
that's not it, because people will call you, friends that
of course,
will call you and have them help.
Correct,
you help them.
But I think what was happening here with your friend was very similar to what was happening between you and I, and what I believe is happening between many, if not most, couples in the modern world. Even with women that have a decent man like myself that, respects women as our equals, women, because of what's happening online and social media and in this world, are basically feeling the need to constantly prove that they're just as good as men. So when your friend, who has a great man that makes good money, and can carry the family and household through this time until she can find work. Of course, that may end up having a conversation regarding, hey, we need to cut a little bit of the extras here until you are able to get, another job or part-time job, or either one of us brings in more income. And then it was funny because she had said, she told you in a text that she feels that her man is being controlling. And at that point, I started laughing. I looked at Dawn and I'm like, how many times have you said that to me? I feel like you're trying to control me, and I'm not trying to control you.
And I know that her man is not
trying to control her.
He's never, ever been controlling. Right. So I had to say, look, my girl, my friend, I said, I've been there the whole time you've been with this man. Mm-hmm. I said, I know him pretty well, and I see the way he looks at you and your child, which is his child as well.
Right.
And I can tell that he is going to do whatever, move heaven and earth to take care of you.
Right. He'll find ways.
Yeah. I said, and you need to be patient with him.
He's not mad that she's, she doesn't work right now. He's understanding that times are tough. And he's saying, hey, babe, this is what I'm assuming he's saying. Hey, babe, yes, I understand that, you're struggling to find work. I can carry the family through until you do find work. No problem. If you need my help, I can help you try to find a job. In the meantime, we have to cut a few things out that we can't afford right now because that income's not coming in.
And that freaked her out.
And women don't like that.
That freaked her out.
It freaked her out because the number one thing that women look up to a man for is certainty. They look to see how certain and confident their man is that can carry them through when, times are tough. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when a woman is used to a certain type of routine, couples go out, and that costs money. In this modern world, it costs
I think what it is
a hell of a lot more.
You get used to a lot of dual incomes.
Well, no, you get used to going out and doing things to break the monotony and have fun. And when you have to cut some of that out because things are tight, at that point, it basically makes her feel uncertainty. Not just financially, but in the relationship, mentally, physically, financially. And the moment when women sense any bit of uncertainty, that's when this kind of thing happens. My man's trying to be controlling, and then I'm laughing. He's not trying to be controlling. He's trying to prevent the ship from sinking. The man, her man, is trying to prevent the ship from sinking, just like I've been trying to prevent the ship from sinking in our relationship. When you've told me the exact same thing, oh, you're trying to control me. I'm not trying to control you. Honestly, if I had money coming out of my ass, like an ATM machine, unlimited funds, honestly, I would give this woman 10 worlds, not just one world, 10 worlds. And I think she understands that. And I think her friend understands that. Her lady friend understands that. Mm-hmm. This is just how women process things. When you have to scale back, because affordability right now is a big issue here in the U.S. Yes, the economy is great. The stock market is great. And people are working and making money. The problem is things are costing more, and the money people are making is just not enough. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And so until that's fixed, until something happens where wages get increased to offset the inflation costs, mm-hmm. Or prices go back down again, or another income is increased, or a promotion happens with more money, until more money comes in or prices go down with the same money, what other choice do you have? Mm-hmm. And you try to explain that to your lady as a man, and she instantly thinks that you're trying to control her.
Yeah.
At that moment. Why? Because like I've said in the past, women respond to everything emotionally first, mm-hmm. based on how they're feeling in the present moment. Now, I've been pooped on for that, for saying that many times, but it's true, because my lady got on the phone with her friend, and literally within minutes, her friend was much calmer. Mm-hmm. And after, you were on for about an hour before I went and took my walk and, mm-hmm. and shared a little bit about this as part of the topic. And by that point, you had already calmed her down. By the time you got back, by the time I got back, you told me it's all good. Mm-hmm. Now she understands. Now she's calm. Now she's feeling certain, right?
Uh-huh.
And had you not experienced that with me or in past relationships, you would not have been able to help her. Everybody goes through these things. I
would have been more like, girl, that's fucked up. Don't let no man control you.
Girl, you know it's true.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But, yeah, no, I'm saying that song is not relatable to what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying? I would be like, they were the girl.
They were the lip syncers of the century, and I actually saw them in concert, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But, yeah, I would have been like, no, girl, you don't deal with that, but now, after experiencing this, mm-hmm. I was able to show her. I said, look at what I've gone through, and look at me now. And she was saying she's kind of going down a dark path, and she started drinking a little bit more. And I kind of, I told her, I said, it's not a bad thing if you have a drink. Don't feel bad, but don't drink every day.
You know why I think she was doing that? And I get it. It can happen. Here's the thing. She probably didn't share everything. I'm sure her man tried to sit her down like I've sat down with you to have a cool and calm, logical conversation about finances. Now, listen, women are not stupid. They do have a logical side, but they don't react initially with that logical side. You mm-hmm. have to let women process their emotions first. And once you get past that barrier, and it's one hell of a barrier, baby.
Yeah, it is.
Then you can communicate with them logically and say, shit, if we don't cut back here, our ship's going to sink. No food, no roof over our head. We're going to be freezing in the cold. We're not going to make it. And that's when they understand. But you got to let them process their emotions first. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then, as with Eli and myself, then I was able to sit down. And I was like, okay, what do I need? And what can I do without? So for me, as an example, I would get the monthly makeup boxes, $30 a month. I get $150 to $200 worth of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Great deal. But did I need to spend that money every month since we were tight on money? Hell no. I've got so much. Like, I've got back stock for days.
We cut back. We've been cutting back on that for the last 6 months to a year. But once more money comes in and things change.
Well, or the great thing about it is if I start to run low on something,
we can order it manually.
You can order it manually or just restart, and get the next
for a
month. Yeah.
Yeah, and then keep skipping months till we're ready to come back permanently.
Yeah, but back to my friend. She wound up, I also didn't tell you, she went through a very traumatic episode last year where her and her man were jumped in the front of their house by 5 African-American men and 1 woman.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 guys on her man. And then there was one of them holding my girlfriend back while another one punched her in the face. And then the mother joined in on my friend.
Mm. Wow.
And as her husband, being the fact that they lived right next door to these people, he didn't want to make it a big deal. He didn't want to call the police.
I would have called the police, but I get it.
But with the knowledge that I have being from there, I mean, you just don't. Snitches.
In that area, it's basically you're a snitch. You're going to get more hurt or worse.
Yeah. Then they come after your house, your cars, your pets.
They slash your tires. They break your windows, and then it gets worse after that, right?
And they were already nervous after this happened, and they didn't stay in their home for 2 weeks, but their dogs were there. So they'd go back and check on the dogs periodically. Mm-hmm. But at night, these people know they're not there. You just throw a T-bone in with some, cyanide or whatever, and you go in there and you ransack the place.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
And so, fortunately now, those people have moved, so they don't have that issue.
Right.
But it was very traumatic. Very, very traumatic. And, it was hard for her to deal with. And so we talked about that a lot. And I just told her, just be grateful that they're gone. And this is a great opportunity for you and your husband and your son to make a new life. Mm-hmm. Move, find something, because your place is becoming unaffordable and unlivable. So yeah, I say look at this as something, a gift that you're getting. And so by the end of our conversation, her spirits were lifted. We started talking about other things, other fun things we like to do. And so it was just a really, really nice, calming conversation. But like I was saying at the GNA, that's what we're here for. But we don't need to make money doing that. If somebody is in need, we stop and we help.
Yeah,
without any discussion of payment.
Yeah, no. Primarily, our money is made through donations at this point. We're going to probably start selling some merch very soon, and we're going to probably have some special coaching packages at some point for people that want more one-on-one help. But for something immediate like that, that's pretty simple. If we have the time and energy to get on the phone with somebody for an hour or two where we know it's going to be worth our time because they're going to get value and it's going to help them, we will do that. We will donate our time where necessary and where it makes sense to do so.
Oh, another thing to mention is that her husband works night shift. So she did not want to stay in that house alone with her son.
I don't blame her.
No.
I don't.
So, I believe they stayed with family or friends. So,
okay.
But yeah, so it was a great conversation. And at the end of it, her man had just woken up and was, from he worked the night before. So he had to sleep during the day, and he had just woken up, and a half hour went by. We were on the phone just chatting, and he kind of gave her those eyes like, alrighty, baby, enough is enough. And so she goes, oh, you want me to get off the phone, baby? And I said, go be with your man. I said, my man's going to be home soon. And then so then he leaves for work, and she's like, what are you doing? You want to talk some more? And I was like, oh, girl, it's mine and Eli's time now. So, but we could talk tomorrow or the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but it was just great. And, at the end of it, I felt really good.
You felt like you had a purpose.
Yeah.
You felt like after all this time, effort, and work that we've been putting into revamping the GNA to what it is today, you finally started to feel like its purpose is really coming out through you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm only going to add one more smaller thing to this. Guys like myself and your friends, they're not technically married. They're going to probably get married one day, maybe.
I call him her husband because they've been together for 10 years.
Yeah, and they have a child together. But I'll say this, myself along with him, we're decent, down-to-earth guys. We just want our women to be happy. We know things happen, and we just have to work through them as a couple and deal with things that are out of our control, especially affordability. We got to work as a team and figure things out to survive in the meantime until, again, either prices go down or more money comes in. That's just the way it works. And I think for her and for you, it's been more about trying to prove yourself in this modern world that women are just as good as men are.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand where you're coming from regarding that, and where she's coming from regarding that. Even though she didn't say that, that's when she
has never, ever in her life depended on a man. Her mom raised her and her brother and sister on her own. And she just made it like, she goes, I'm going to be strong enough that I don't have to rely on anybody else for my own survival.
I get it.
Now, that's not a super feminist thing. That's just a person that's like, I don't want to depend on anybody else.
Well, I get where you're coming from. I'm not trying to make it a feminist thing, but it definitely is a feminist thing. The bottom line is that our culture has been shaped in a way nowadays that even if a woman is in a relationship with a man that's working and providing, and she's not doing her part financially, our modern world has shaped it to make her look like she's a gold digger or a taker or something like that. And that's not what you are. That's not what she is. This is about the social stigma. This is about the modern world culture. This is about third wave and possibly now even into the fourth wave of feminism. It's no disrespect. This is not your fault, her fault, or the fault of most women. It's a few women that are going out online, and especially now with YouTube and other platforms, and basically being the brand new Rosie the Riveter. We can do it, ladies, with the big guns. And
speaking of,
right?
Rest in peace, Rosie the Riveter.
The real Rosie the Riveter.
Passed away at 101 years old. Just this last week,
R.I.P. Rest in peace. God rest your soul. You did good.
You did good.
No, I'm proud of how ladies have come up. I just really think in this modern world, we need more. We need to teach men more early on in the school system on how to better understand the modern woman. They don't teach that. That's why we do what we do. That's part of why we do what we do. That's why a lot of guys over the last 10 plus years on YouTube, including myself, have done the self-help content, including, content for men and women in dating relationships or marriages, because You can't get that information anywhere else. And, some men might end up figuring it out on their own, like I did over the years, over the decades of life. I'm 52 now. But it took me really well into my 40s to really, truly, completely understand, exactly what a modern woman is going through. I have that knowledge now, and I want to help all men learn that knowledge, because that's going to help women too. And that's why we do what we do. Anything else before we move forward here?
No, I'll just close it up with great week. It really was very therapeutic and refreshing. And that's pretty much it for my week. This upcoming week is going to be busy for myself. And we'll talk about those plans and what we've done
in the near
next
future
week on our podcast.
Yeah. So, by the way, I finally figured out episode number 53 is going to be our 1-year anniversary, because it's going to be released on March 26th. We're actually recording this episode number 50 on Sunday, March 1st, 2026.
Yeah, March 1st.
It'll be released throughout the entire podcast network on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Now, so episode number 53 will be released on Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. Episode number 1 was released on March 26th, 2025. So we want to get it as close to that 1-year anniversary as possible. And we're going to be planning on bringing on the entire GNA, Genuine Networking Association executive team for that episode. Santa Palacio and Tia and ODN.
And I believe they'll have a lot to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It'll be a good show.
It's gonna be a blast, and we look forward to bringing that to you folks. But
alrighty.
So here's how the show's gonna go today, babe. I got 10 questions to ask you. I'll get to that in a second. Then you'll take your break. So probably about another 15, 20 minutes, take a break. And then after that, we've got 3 Reddit postings that are brand new and interesting that relate to this topic here today. But, first, let me start off by sharing a few key points here, and then we'll get to the questions I ask you. The internet rewards speed. Real law rewards procedure. Online repetition feels like proof. Screenshots feel like evidence. Popular opinion feels like judgment. In real court, evidence must be authenticated. Burden of proof matters. Due process matters. Elements must be proven. Key line here is the internet operates on emotion and momentum. The legal system operates on standards and structure. There's a huge difference there, babe. And, babe, when you look at how arguments play out online, what feels most different to you compared to how things work in the real world? That's a loaded question.
Yeah, the way things are handled in the real world is real. That's real life. But the things on YouTube, they're not real life. They just really aren't. You don't know who these people are. You don't know what kind of act they're putting on. All of this stuff. And so they don't take those situations as serious as the real law. Like, if something were to happen, like they did put out death threats online about my friend. Now, they could have absolutely done something, but they still felt it wasn't worth it, wasn't worth the pain. Because if they're already saying that, then they counter with the cops, then they feel they're actually going to follow through.
Yeah. And the thing is, those people you had told me were recording this and they put it on TikTok and it went viral. And one of your friend's friends actually saw that video and sent it to your friend. It's no longer publicly available, which is what you told me when you asked her, because I would have wanted to see that. But it seems like this was all, skidded for virality.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really sad how far people will go nowadays to make things look real, even if they're not. Like, they will create fake violence, which is still assault. They were assaulted legitimately in the real world. But this group of people seems like they did it for a viral TikTok video. I mean, honestly, something like that, that if you could prove that they did that in court, they would all probably go to jail for that. I mean, that is some serious, things that are going on. Like, okay, you beat up people in the real world, not because you want to, because you want to make it look real for a viral video for TikTok or YouTube or wherever you upload it, right? That's what people do nowadays. They take it to that level because they think they can't grow any other way.
Or they think they're going to get away with it.
Right.
That's the big thing.
And they usually do.
And they do.
Yeah.
That's the crappy thing. And that's why I'm saying, if it's happening in real life, then yeah, something can be done. But as with the internet, there are repercussions in all actions. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. Look, just because it's the internet doesn't mean that the laws don't apply there either. It may be a little bit more difficult to prove because a lot of judges will look at the internet and just say, oh, this is just commentary. This is just a YouTube beef. This is just two people going back and forth. That may be the case in many, if not most cases, but there are situations like what I've been going through and Don has been going through where that line has been crossed. So yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting line. We've talked about it before. The line between what's protected First Amendment freedom of speech here in the U.S., the line between that and defamation is very far apart, and it should be narrowed down. I believe one of the Reddit postings is going to address that to a certain extent. We're going to get to that in just a few here, but let's continue with some of these questions, babe. Yeah. What feels most different online versus real life?
I think people are they're more apt to do it online. They're not as scared of getting caught. If you do something in person, there's a high probability you're going to get caught and have to face repercussions.
True.
Online, they don't feel that they have to face any repercussions.
And a lot of these people are nowhere near where you live.
Yeah.
So even if you know who they are, like a lot of the people that, are coming at me are like clear across the country, 2,000 plus miles away. And here's the thing. I mean, if they're harassing you and stuff, you can try to get a harassment order on them. But even that's hard to get because unless there is a death threat, that they make a clear death threat where, they say they're going to, do that to you, you're not gonna get that harassment order because it's gonna come up to the judge like you're just trying to silence someone's freedom of speech, which is typically not the case. But because the internet laws haven't caught up with the real world laws regarding harassment orders, you typically are not going to be able to get a harassment order on somebody, let's say, that's been harassing you on YouTube, unless they actually live close enough to you to the point of where a legitimate fear exists in a judge's eyes, right? And so, that's something that many people People have tried to get harassment orders on me. I've never harassed anyone, or stalking orders on me. I've never stalked anyone. And every single time they either didn't show up to the hearing, or when you don't show up, they dismiss it. The other party didn't show up, and or somebody that I did end up going to a hearing with, they didn't have sufficient evidence, so it was dismissed within 20 minutes for lack of evidence, insufficient evidence. I've tried to get a restraining order a few times. One time, the person did make multiple death threats to me, and I was able to get a restraining order that time. Another time, it did not involve a death threat. It involved severe harassment. It involved, this person going real life on myself and my girlfriend, Dawn, making false wellness checks to the home, which the judge said that it was considered swatting.
Which is a felony in California.
Huh? It's
a felony in California.
It is. And there were some other things, I'm not going to get into it, that this person did. The judge, scolded the other person that was trying to get the restraining order on at the hearing, and then he dismissed the case with prejudice. I can't even refile if I want to, up until that point, for anything previously. And that's what you're dealing with. So, and we'll get more into that as the show goes on, but I just wanted to share that, a lot of this stuff is looked at by judges as a First Amendment issue, even if it really isn't. All right, they don't know exactly what's really going on. The laws have not caught up with the internet. I think within the next 10 years, they're going to catch up.
Things will change, I think.
What's that?
I think things will change.
I think things will change. I think.
We're already seeing some changes.
We have, but I mean, it's not going to really change until this guy we have in office called Trump finishes his term, and we get a better administration that will look at this. It'll probably start changing, during the next administration. Like 2.5 to 3 years, 3 years from now, it'll start to change. But it's going to take 5 to 10 years before it really does. Mm-hmm. So, anything else?
No. Next question.
Why do people treat comment sections like courtrooms, babe? You've seen that in YouTube chats, live stream chats. You've seen it in the comment sections. They treat it like a courtroom. It's like you're on trial all the time, huh?
Yeah. No, it.
Now you get it, huh?
I get it. Yeah, it's again ridiculous. I love the ones where you show me where people show up online and they're in their pajamas, or they're like wearing a tank top where like half their boobs are coming out, and the judges are like, what the frick? Like, you're in court. Do you dress like that at family dinner? No. It's like, those are the funniest ones I've seen on like YouTube,
I don't even comment on those anymore. In my head, I play the Law and Order dun dun.
Yeah.
When they go from scene to scene, from like one scene to the courthouse, dun dun.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought those ones are really funny with the judges scolding the people in the court.
Yeah, and I love when the judges go crazy and use the gavel like crazy on Law and Order.
I know.
But that never happens in a real courthouse.
No.
Typically, it doesn't happen.
I mean, it would maybe happen in a high, like, publicity case. Like, maybe back in the O.J. Simpson trial where the probability of absolute rage or chaos in a courtroom can happen.
I don't think Ito ever used his gavel.
I'm just using that case as an example,
right.
Like a just very high profile case.
Right.
But other than that, no, your standard, misdemeanor. Oh, you stole a candy bar at 7-Eleven. No.
Do you remember the People's Court with Judge Wapner?
Oh, yeah.
And I think Judge Judy does. I think they use the gavel because it's more for entertainment, theatrics.
Dramatic.
It's a real case, and they're basically it's like what's it called? Like mediation, right?
Yeah, and then
it's called arbitration.
Yeah, and I just think it's so funny. Both of them would make their decision, and then it would be like, boom.
My judgment's for the plaintiff for $5,000.
Boom.
And then they would hit the gavel, right? So we've been brainwashed here in the U.S. and in the world that judges always hit the gavel and they don't. They make their ruling. Like, I'm in the middle of a circuit civil case, in Florida. I've sued this YouTuber. I'm not going to mention his name or anything, and I may be referring to it throughout this podcast because it's relevant. We had our first hearing where he tried to get sanctions on me. He tried to accuse me of spoliation of evidence, and we were on through Microsoft Teams. Our judge is Judge Stacy from Seminole County, Florida, and after we presented, after he presented his side, I presented my side. Judge Stacy just said, okay, I'm going to make a ruling. She didn't use the gavel. She said, I'm going to make a ruling, very cool and calm. And she made the ruling and she denied the sanctions and denied the spoliation of evidence and all that. And all I kept thinking in my head at that point, I was watching this and I was thinking about the Law and Order gavel. Like, my judgment is for the plaintiff or whatever, right? But it doesn't work that way, right?
No.
And it's not even a judgment for me. It's just denying the motion.
Yes.
That's all it is. So this whole thing through Law and Order and the People's Court and, Judge Judy, which is now, I think, Judy Justice. I think she's still on, what was it, Freebie? Or I can't remember. She was on another platform for a while. It's all done for entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you, I've told Dawn, I said, I'm going to order a gavel from Amazon. And she goes, if you order a gavel, you better give me one of my garments that I've been asking you to get for a while. You better fit it in the budget, right?
Yeah. Or you better get bubble wrap because I'll use it and throw it at you.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. I will be getting a gavel at some point. That's going to be a great prop for the studio. I don't know how it's going to look on camera because the camera is not down on the table, but maybe I can just have it elevated and you folks can see it and I can just hit it every now and then. I can make rulings on people's behavior on the internet.
Yes, yes.
My judgment is that your behavior sucks and you need to change your attitude.
Yeah.
Something like that.
My decision is you're dumb. Go back to school.
And if we get trolls coming in the chat, order in the chat. Order in the chat. Order in the chat. Order in the chat. Right?
I would love to see that. That's so funny.
Sometimes I can be. My woman thinks I'm the most boring motherfucker.
I do not.
Right? And sometimes when I say some funny stuff, she goes.
He has a lot of dry humor, but then sometimes he will get me with those, and I'm just like, damn. Yeah.
Now she wants me to get the gavel.
Yeah. Now I support the gavel.
It's the troll gavel, baby.
I like it.
It's the troll gavel, but anyway.
We'll have a plaque that says anti-troll gavel.
All right. Let's go through a few more of these before you take your break. Do most people understand burden of proof?
No.
Okay.
No, there's a lot of things, a lot of terms in law that I think people get a false sense of what they think it is based on maybe television or whatnot, but they don't actually physically know, like, what does that mean in a court case?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, burden of proof. It goes beyond just simple commentary online. Look, what I've learned on YouTube is that when people insult you, for the most part, it's considered protected speech, right? Now, that doesn't mean that it's not against the terms of service, but it's not defamatory to insult somebody.
No, I can literally, Eli, you're an idiot. That's my opinion. That's not derogatory. And I'm using that as an
Pretty
example,
good opinion,
people.
sometimes I can be an idiot, but that's all good.
Yeah, I'm using him as an example. So
it's a great example.
But you know what I'm saying? It's not derogatory. It's not anything that is like knife to your heart.
It's insulting.
It's like, it's like you're being an idiot right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even, and I'm not going to say these words because they could violate terms of service, and I don't want to do that, right? You know, when guys call women derogatory words about, you know, their sexual experience or something like that, a lot of those words are extremely insulting. They are protected. It is protected speech.
But these people get away with it because they're not, if they don't have a stream and they're physically saying this, what they're doing is they're commenting and like spelling it a different way, putting spaces in between.
Oh, they're trying to bypass filters.
Yeah, they're trying to bypass those filters that YouTube is trying to control.
And YouTube is getting smarter and is looking at different variations of how people say things that should not be said. So
yes,
but yeah, burden of proof, basically, defamation. It needs to be a false statement as fact, clearly stated as fact. It needs to be published, you know, it needs to be something that, like I said, is not true.
Yeah. Like if somebody calls your employer or somebody you know and says, this person was in jail for 5 years, you know? Well, what is your proof? Show me your proof. Yeah. You can't just say something happened without having a receipt for it. You know?
Right.
That's the burden of proof.
The worst thing you can do on YouTube is accuse somebody of criminal activity that they have not done, and then try to say that it's my opinion, my thought. No. The thing is that there are people that will try to present realistic sounding and appearing things to an audience that will only donate to them when they do that. And so, you know, I call it the donation for dollars. The defamation for dollars campaign. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that is defamation.
Yes.
Even if people are doing it for entertainment and they try to say it's for entertainment purposes and, this is just my opinion. This is parody, whatever. They try to shield it. No. That's clear-cut defamation. There is a difference. But here's the thing. Most of the time, if people are just saying, you suck, you're an idiot, whatever, right? If they're saying insulting things, that's not a big deal. If they're trying to paint you as a embezzler, or if they're trying to paint you as a fraud, if they call your business a fraud business or call you a fraud, and you're not a fraud, that's defamatory. That's clear-cut defamation.
Yeah.
And just don't do that, folks, because that could get you landed in court. Now, there are people that know it's very difficult to it's very difficult to sue somebody in civil court because it's costly, primarily because of the attorney's fees. You can represent yourself pro se like I am, but most people don't have the time or can't figure out how to do it. And a lot of people that defame people for money online, they know most people won't sue. So they play that system there. But here's the thing. Don't take that chance, because just because someone isn't able to sue you now, if you keep going, how do you know they're not going to sue you in 5 years? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Where's he trying to go? Where's the big dog trying to go?
He always stands at that door, like acting around, like he has to go out there for a reason. But he's just a silly dog.
Let's get through a few more of these. Why does repetition start to feel like truth, babe?
Well, it's just like when you lie, the more times you say that lie, the more it convinces you that it's the truth. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That would be my comparison.
When a rumor is started, and then let's say a group of people online collectively spread that rumor, it can come off publicly as truthful, even if it isn't. And that's what really harms people's reputation. That's what's harmed my reputation online. Now, I've done a lot of correcting the record streams, and I've gotten to the point of where, I've done whatever I can to, turn around what people have perceived my public reputation to be. There's still a lot of work to do, and that's why I'm in court with the main person that has created this for me. But yeah, the repetition aspect, if other people are amplifying the same thing, if there are 4 or 5 or 6 creators in one, let's say, drama, centric group of people that share what I call an echo chamber type of audience that goes from channel to channel to channel, right? They hear the same thing through different creators in that group. Then they tend to believe it. And then they themselves go on their community walls on YouTube and they create their videos spreading the same thing.
Yeah.
And what happens when people are searching for Eli, or in the past I went by Coach Eli, they search Coach Eli, Elias Melas, whatever, GNA, whatever, they come across these videos. Now I've been able to get a lot of the videos down. Trust me, I've worked very hard over the years to remove a lot of this defamatory content. But there's still there's still some of it out there that's going to be hard to remove. And so that's what happens when people repeat things. It does start to become believable. Even if the creators that made up the lie initially, they did it just because they wanted to entertain their audience and make money off it, right? Even if they know it's not true, that doesn't matter to them. It matters how their audience perceives it and how their audience reacts and donates to that content, right? Yeah. Public opinion versus legal standards, babe. Sorry. Public opinion versus legal standards. Any difference there to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, public persona.
Yeah, your opinion regarding, things in public. Public opinion versus legal standards. Much different.
It's so different. I mean, yeah. It just, I think it's kind of like, says it itself. It's common sense.
Yeah. Public opinion are your thoughts.
Your thoughts.
Your thoughts. If there's something you're unsure of, say, this is my opinion. I'm not certain about this, but based on what I've seen and past experience and all that, this is what I think is going on, but don't quote me on it. I'm not sure. This is my opinion. And don't be afraid to consistently use my opinion. If you're going to say something that you're not exactly sure of, that will, in case you get sued, that will, I'm not saying it's going to shield you. Only a judge can decide that, but a judge is more likely to assess what you're saying there as an opinion because you said it's my opinion, right? These people, when they were defaming me, which is why, when this guy was defaming me over the years and recently, the reason why he got sued is not because of saying my opinion. He never said it's my opinion that Eli has embezzled. He was saying, I believe Eli embezzled.
He made a song.
A parody song of it, tried to shield it through parody, and we'll figure that out in court when we get there. But yeah, the public opinion aspect doesn't matter when it comes to court. Legal standards, which is an easier, more digestible way of saying it's about procedure. Court's about procedure.
Yeah, procedure.
It's about procedure, bottom line. How do you stay grounded when the internet feels loud, babe?
Oh, gosh. It's a lot. I mean, that's something we've had to both go through. I've said it before. Shut it off. Shut it off. Don't look at comments. Don't look at reactions. Don't look at the parodies that are made. Shut it off and take a break. Just focus on yourself and the people that are important. Your friends, your family, just all of your loved ones. Don't focus on the hate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I got nothing more to add to that. I want to get to the next one here because I have something to add to this. Why does due process matter, babe?
It's something that obviously is our right to due process. And it's, if I believe this correctly, it is the part of being proven innocent,
Right. Or
not just assuming.
Or found guilty.
Or found guilty,
Or
yes.
found guilty.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's important.
It's a right. Due process
it is a right. Absolutely.
And here's the thing. Without due process, a lot of the people that have been defaming me online would continue to get away with it.
Yeah.
There'd be no forum for me to take it to get it resolved.
Mm-hmm.
You go to court to resolve, situations that you try to resolve out of court, but when people are unreasonable, you don't have any other choice.
Yeah.
And that's why due process matters, because due process gives you the forum to resolve aspects of the law that you feel, you're being violated on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. Due process, extremely important. One of the most important things. If we didn't have due process, if we didn't have laws, we would all be shooting each other. I mean, that's just the way it would be.
You'd be the purge every night.
Right, yeah. What does the internet get wrong about courts, babe?
Everything. It all depends on where you're going on the internet to get this information.
Yeah.
And what you're feeding it. But yeah, it's just like the medical field. We tell patients all the time, do not go to Wikipedia. Do not go to WebMD. Because they teach us in school, nothing that you are going to encounter in the hospital or on the field is going to be textbook.
Right.
They can tell you what the limits are, the ranges, what's normal versus abnormal, but there's not one person out there that's absolutely textbook. So you have to anticipate that, even in the law world,
Yeah. Yeah. I think the internet presents things in ways that makes them the most money, gets them the most traction, and makes them the most money through ad revenue on YouTube, super chats, super stickers, on live streams, or premiere videos. So I think it's about people presenting things in different opposite ways that make people curious to click in, not because it's necessarily the truth. It typically is not the truth.
Yeah.
It's funny. The truth is something that I believe in, but here's the funny thing too. The truth is the least profitable way to make money on
right?
on YouTube. Like, yeah, you're laughing because
it's the truth.
Like, when you're truthful and honest,
excuse me,
no one wants to watch you. No one wants to donate to you.
Yeah.
No one really cares because that's just normal.
Yeah.
Right? That's what the normal is or should be, and it is, right?
Yeah.
So it's nothing different that you're curious about to find out because that's normal. Okay, cool.
Well, what it is a baseline.
What's that?
It's a baseline.
Right.
That's what they're saying. This is normal. That's your baseline.
So the people that create the content that get things wrong about courts and say things about courts that are not true, or, this is not right. This is a First Amendment thing, and the First Amendment trumps everything. There are people out there that don't even believe in defamation. Like, they're like, this is all First Amendment protected speech. Not everything is protected by the First Amendment. A lot of things are.
Yeah.
But defamation is defamation. Okay?
Yeah.
There would be no need to have the First Amendment if defamation didn't exist.
Exactly.
So what would be the point of protecting you with the First Amendment if there weren't things that were outside of the First Amendment that would hold you accountable for your speech?
Well, I think everything has a line where you cross.
It does.
So that can go for anything.
Absolutely. Two more. Has social media blurred accountability and entertainment? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Talking about my friend's situation.
Mm-hmm.
Blurred reality for entertainment.
That they basically beat up your friends for entertainment, which is something that these people should go to jail for.
Mm-hmm.
They should, honestly.
Honestly, they should.
That is assault. They should go to jail for that alone. But then they should go to jail for conspiracy to commit assault for entertainment purposes. That should be like a higher, that should basically hold them to a higher standard and get more jail time.
Yes.
Like the motive, it's the motive. The motive of
what
why
am I
they
going to
did
get
it.
out of this? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the problem. People are doing things on the internet that they would normally not do in the real world because that's the only way they think they can make money or get attention.
The almighty dollar.
Right. Right. Last one before your break, babe. If someone feels misjudged online, what's the healthiest real world response?
I've said it. Go away. Just don't. You can't let comments and opinions beat you up and take your self-esteem away. Know who you are. Look in that mirror and say, fuck these people. They don't know me. They're not even worth knowing me. So get up, keep your head up, put a smile on, and just engage in the positive people in your life, the positive aspects. Don't go back to the negative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'll just say, it takes a lot of time to get to the point of where you can handle things in a non-reactive way on the internet. It took you a lot of time. It took me a lot of time. Now, I've been doing it longer than you. And I got to that place many years ago, even about the same time when I got together with you for the first time 4.5 years ago or so. I was just working through it and I became a lot stronger and I was able to ignore all this. But what happens when they can't get to me and they want to use me as their content source? They go to the next person that I care for the most, which is you. Mm-hmm. So they came at you for a while and then you had to figure out how to get strong and not let it bother you. You had to work through a bunch of things. And over the years, it took about 3 years or so, maybe 3.5 years. But look where we're at now.
I realized I'm bulletproof.
Yeah.
I really am bulletproof from what they want to throw.
You are. You absolutely are. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because I've said this before. I'll say it again. On YouTube, having thick skin is not good enough. You need thick skin or tough skin times 10. YouTube will even test someone's thick skin when they already have thick skin in the real world. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I say this now. If you can handle the court of public opinion on YouTube and how nasty it can be at times or many times, you can handle anything.
Mm-hmm.
It tremendously increases your strength. Okay, mental strength, emotional strength, and it's not easy. It takes years of being tormented constantly to finally understand how to better handle it.
Yeah.
And that's why we're telling you folks here, we're sharing our thoughts, even though we know that you're going to have to figure this out on your own. But when you start to figure it out, initially, maybe you can work through it quicker than we did initially at that point because you'll have something to compare it to reference it to. That's why we do what we do here.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
Time for your break, right?
Absolutely.
You see right here on my notes, it says break transition. There's a little coffee mug there. Can't see it on screen.
Yeah, I like it.
So let me go ahead and turn off the camera.
Okay.
All right, so Dawn's going to go take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to look at how Reddit users themselves are confused about internet law versus real law, and it's fascinating, so you're not going to want to miss that. But in the meantime, while we wait for Dawn, let me remind each and every one of you that if you're listening to us on the audio-only network, such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon's Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, or one of the very many other not as well-known audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us on the audio-only network, wherever it's at, please go below in the description. About halfway down, you will see the link to the video version of our podcast on our main YouTube channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. GNA stands for Genuine Networking Association. When you go there, make sure you subscribe, tap the bell, bang the bell, and then make sure you select all notifications so you don't miss anything, because then you can watch the video version of our podcast every week if you prefer, over the audio only network feeds. After you subscribe, make sure you go in the description section of that video. And by the way, the video version of our podcast is the same audio, just with video. We actually rip the audio from the video recording. So after that, go below in the description section, a couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live, if not every day, almost every day. Lately, I've been taking several days off because I've been getting my exercise at home, and I've had a lot on my plate. And so you'll still get at least 2 or 3 live streams there a week. Usually you get 5 to 7 or more a week. That will, that will eventually come back. But yeah, if you want more real-time constant interaction with us, make sure you subscribe to both channels, especially GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. And we do streams. I do a Walking with Purpose stream regularly from the park on mobile. Sometimes Don and I do Driving with Purpose streams. Sometimes we do On the Couch with Don and Eli streams. Sometimes we do in-studio streams here in the same studio where we record the podcast. It looks similar, but it's just live on our secondary GNA2 live streaming YouTube channel instead of being pre-recorded throughout the entire podcast network. So yeah, make sure you connect with us. And it's all good. It doesn't cost you anything to connect with us. You just have to watch an ad, or if you have YouTube Premium, then we get a little cut out of that. It doesn't cost you anything to participate and ask us questions during the live streams in our chats. If you want to donate through a Super Chat or Cash App or PayPal, that's completely optional. So join us and allow us to help you move your life forward in the most positive ways possible. The dogs are now playing. Are you ready for the camera to pop back on? Okay, Dawn is back.
And I'll tell you why Mr. Bochy wanted to go out there so bad.
Why?
He was thirsty.
Oh, he wanted to drink some water.
Yeah, he went out there and was like slurping, and I was like, that's what it is, buddy. So, yeah, he's all good now.
I got to tell you, I love your dogs. And we still need to do, maybe we'll do this next week. Maybe we'll do dogs are very therapeutic in dating relationships and marriages. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah.
Oh, you just sneezed.
What?
You just sneezed.
Oh, I was coughing. No,
You're
but I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No issue.
But, I love hanging out with the dogs and with you at night. It's just, it feels like a family. It feels like they're our kids. Even though I've never had kids.
And a lot of people will, say that's wrong to say, especially like myself. I have children, but I have adult children. It's different.
Right.
They're both living on their own. They have their own animals. So these are my kids that I take care of at home.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel. I protect them. I love them just like I would my own children.
Wonderful, baby. Absolutely. We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. All right. Got about 40 to 45 minutes to go. We got 3 incredible Reddit postings to go over. They're very, very interesting. So let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser screen here and get to the first of 3 postings. This is from the subreddit r/legal advice off topic.
Okay.
And the original poster's title is it possible to mass sue internet users for defamation over a finished judicial cause?
Wow.
That's an interesting question.
That is interesting.
Meaning that a judgment has been made. Someone has been vindicated of a crime, for example. Mm-hmm. Can you still go out there and say, well, I think they did it? You see what the word is?
I think.
Protected speech.
These guys are just very much wanting to be a part of our show today.
Yeah, well, we're on the browser screen, so we're tiny on the bottom right. They can still see it. We're high quality, 1080p, 60 frames per second, 30 megabits per second bit rate. Excellent quality. Anyway, we're not here to give a lesson on technology.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've seen this situation several times. Somebody is not known in a country or to the world until he or she is accused of murder/rape or other crimes. The trial takes place and the guy is absolved. Okay, so he's basically vindicated. He's found not guilty. However, many people online still say that he committed the crime or label him or her as a murderer, which literally means they are saying he or she committed murder.
All I have to say is O.J. Simpson. He was acquitted. He was able to go home.
Most people still think that he did it.
Yes.
Listen to the word.
Perfect example.
There's a difference between saying,
I know.
I think he did it. I know for a fact he did it. You cannot say, I know for a fact he did it unless you have the facts. And you can prove it, because if not, then you can get sued for and I think OJ had passed away a few years ago.
He passed away.
So, someone who's in a better place now is not going to sue you from heaven. You're going to be dealing with the court of God there.
That's the one I don't want to piss off.
That's the one where the gavel is right there. No, God is a very wonderful person.
Oh, so yeah, I'm just saying he's not the one I want to piss off.
Right, you don't want to upset God or the good Lord Jesus Christ as well, right? Anyway, I don't know about other countries, but in mine, to have a solid cause of defamation or crime against honor, the accuser needs to be someone famous or whose public image is used for work. No, anyone can be defamed. Anyone can be defamed. What qualifies for defamation is, where is that statement set?
If you state and put information out, you state, beware, this person is dangerous. Protect yourself, with a picture. That ain't okay. But you could say, I think this person might be dangerous around children. That's a whole different statement. Correct?
Yeah. Now, let me read the definition of defamation from Google. I'm not going to show it on the screen. Defamation requires proving that a false statement of fact, not opinion, was published to a third party, causing harm to a person's or entity's reputation. The statement must be unprivileged, identify the subject, and be made with fault, negligence, or malice. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
To successfully claim defamation, libel written, slander spoken. These criteria must be met: false statement of fact, publication, communication, identification, harm to reputation, fault that the defendant must have been negligent in determining the truth. Well, defamation for dollars. Hey, if you can make shit up about Eli here, and the audience believes it and they donate, I mean, there's your,
or like for myself,
your
they'll
fault.
they'll take my truth and exaggerate it by like 10.
Oh God, you've been massively defamed. I mean, you know,
yeah.
but I don't think
I think it's I think it's jealousy. I think it's
big time.
People that project insecurities onto other people. It's because they're insecure themselves about that. There's so many examples that I can give on what's going on
Buster's
online.
On camera, he was.
Oh.
Now your name is
blocking his head.
Your name is blocking his head. I'm not going to turn your name up on the screen.
No.
Well,
he's fine.
He stood up for a second and I gave him a little. Yeah.
Got a little itchy, huh? He's fine.
Yeah.
But
both dogs are still doing well. We've been accused like years ago that we abuse these dogs or something. It's like we've heard some of the craziest crap out here.
Oh, in the beginning?
Oh my.
Do you remember the rumor about me and my dog?
Oh yeah, we're not going to say that. The B word.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Listen, just because your
gives
dog
you
kisses.
I'm not going to say the full word, but Mr. Beast. It's a derivative of that word, and that's not. You don't do that.
No, I'm saying just because when you get home and your dog kisses you on the face does not mean that it's that word.
Dogs will lick you and stuff, and everyone that has dogs knows that. This is just a weird group of people, babe.
Oh, I know. I don't care. I'm just using examples of these people, you know?
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Let's continue here. My question is, since the guy is now famous thanks to the media and false claims can be easily shown to cause real damage, could that person literally sue anyone that labels him or her as an as an author of the crime with a solid cause and collect compensations massively, possibly even acting as an alternate source of income? I am not asking for any specific country, but more like broadly, think in advance. Well, if it's anywhere besides the U.S., possibly, because defamation laws everywhere except here in the U.S. are much stricter.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Here in the U.S., it's like, well,
somebody was just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Just let it get away with it today.
No. Listen, there are people that push it too far, and that is defamatory. What it sounds like here to me is that this person was taken to trial, and this person, won a trial. They were probably a defendant, and they won a trial. That doesn't mean that he didn't do it. That means that there was reasonable doubt.
Mm-hmm.
When you're trying to prosecute someone for a criminal case, you need to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt. In a civil case, it's based on preponderance of the evidence. And preponderance of the evidence means 51% or more.
Mm-hmm.
So in my circuit civil case, all I have to do to win my case is to prove more likely than not that my case, I need to prove it more likely than not, 51%. Okay. And then if it goes to trial, at least in Florida, I don't know how it is in other states. They have juries that are either, that you either need 5 out of the 6 juries or 10 out of the 12, 5 out of the 6 jurors or 10 out of the 12 jurors to get a favorable decision, right? Mm-hmm. In a criminal case, you need a unanimous decision.
Mm-hmm.
Even if 1 out of the 12 jurors, for example, is against it, then boom, it's a mistrial. It's deadlocked. Are you okay?
Yeah. Damn allergies.
Yeah. Well, you got the allergy meds. Maybe we'll start giving you Allerfex too, baby. That works really well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have been taking my spray every day.
Mm-hmm. You probably need to use the Allerfex too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I just felt their sneezes coming. I was trying to stop them. Mistake.
Hold on. Hang on.
Oh, that's okay. Sometimes we have to answer questions when we're recording. There's certain people that get through on our phones, so.
Yeah, so anyway, in this case here, if somebody is saying that I think they did it, there was not a unanimous, jury decision.
Mm-hmm.
It was not proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That doesn't prove that he didn't do it. It just means there wasn't enough to prosecute.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it means.
Yeah.
Does that mean he might have gotten away with it? Yes. But the way you frame it is what matters for future defamation.
Yeah.
If you come out and say, I know for a fact that he was guilty and they got it wrong, that could open you up to defamation. Even then, you'd have, is someone going to sue you for that? Probably not. You never know. They could, but that'd be a crapshoot. Mm-hmm. If you come out and say, well, he was exonerated, but I still think he did it, in my opinion. Listen to what I said. I still think he did it, but then I added also in my opinion. That's not a factual statement. That's saying, hey, you know what? There wasn't enough evidence.
Based on the evidence, I don't believe it.
There was insufficient evidence to convict.
Yes.
Right? And so basically, even if we all feel he did it, we can't say that as a fact. We can say, we think he did it in our opinion, but, the proof showed that there wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's the way due process works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of people that do, some criminal stuff get away with it because they have a great lawyer. Evidence is messed up, right? The procedure is messed up by the district attorney and other people.
Or the officers involved.
Or the officers, right. So, in this case here, I don't think there's any defamation. Let's read a few of the comments down below here. Meh. Trials don't get absolution, and I'm not just saying this to be, I don't even know what that word is, about wording. The distinction is important. When someone is found not guilty at the issue of a trial, it doesn't mean they didn't commit the crime. It only means his guilt was not proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That's exactly what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very high burden of proof required for a trial to find anything other than not guilty. A random internet user is not held to the same standard of certainty when they say, yeah, I think he did it. Listen to the words. Now, I would add, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But saying, yeah, I think he did it,
still covers him.
For the most part, it would be better to say, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion, almost makes it bulletproof. You can never say anything makes you bulletproof because it's whatever the judge decides.
Yeah.
The judge could have a bad day and rule against you, even if you're right. So you can never say that even stating, in my opinion, is going to be a magic shield. The context around it matters.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
It does.
But this is what's going on here. To successfully sue someone for defamation, it is not easy. No, you're right, especially here in the U.S. But I'm doing it, and I have proof. Lots of it. Your first issue is that now the burden of proof is reversed. You are now the one who has to prove that their statement is false. Right.
Exactly.
AKA, you have to prove you did not commit the murder. So you're going from a criminal case to a civil case over stating that, you think he still committed the crime even though he was exonerated, even though he was found not guilty. Right? Okay. Let's see. But even if you do manage to prove your innocence for the murder, you then also have to prove the one who defamed you had the required criminal intent when defaming you.
Yeah.
Defamation is not a criminal thing. It's a civil thing. So I don't know why they're saying that there. But even if you do manage to prove your innocence for the murder, then you also have to prove the one who defamed you had the required criminal intent when defaming you. Criminal intent. It's about speech.
Yeah.
That's not criminal. That's civil.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are many subtleties about this part, and I'm not going to get into the details. So let's just say that you basically have to show they knew what they said about you was false, or at least that they were being naughty when saying it. Well, yeah, that's exactly what's happening in my situation. This guy was saying all these things about me to incite donations to his audience. It was commercially motivated, and he was doing it while commercially exploiting my copyrighted content. So you have to have a lot of proof. And let me tell you, I'm representing myself in this case pro se. I have a lot of proof. And my complaint is 350 something pages long. I've made a lot of filings in the meantime. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. No need to go any further than that regarding my case. Any thoughts you want to say about this? I think that's good enough for that one, babe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one here. This is interesting. This is from the subreddit r/ask Reddit. And the original poster's title is, Should Free Speech Have Limits? And if so, who decides? Ooh, that's a great one. Should free speech, First Amendment free speech, have limits? And if so, who decides?
I had this exact conversation with my mom kind of when we started going through this. Okay. And I was saying, I do think that there should be limits to free speech.
I agree. Go ahead.
And she's like, so does that mean you want all free speech taken? I said, no. I want there to be limitations on what people can say about another individual before it becomes defamation. Yeah. And she kind of understood where I was coming from. Because I told her there is a fine line between freedom of speech and defamation.
Absolutely. There absolutely is. And if we go back to the browser screen here, it has, let's read some comments. It always has limits. Slander, libel. Slander spoken, libel written. That's defamation right there. Conspiracy, breaching confidentiality agreements.
Ooh.
Treason, all forms of speech that are legally limited. That speaks for itself. Not all forms of speech aren't free speech. You're describing violations of the law, which has never been protected speech under the First Amendment. Come on, baby, give me some. Right. I'm sure you agree that speaks for itself, huh?
Yeah.
Who mentioned the First Amendment or even America? Why did you even say that?
Who cares?
Let's see. This person says, the Post mentioned free speech. America is the only country in the world that provides for it through the First Amendment.
Duh.
We're
I swear.
And we're the only country pretty much in the world that has the loosest speech laws on the planet. That's why these people get away with, for the most part, what they're doing on the internet.
I just can't believe how ignorant people sound.
Ignorance, the same word I was thinking.
Yeah,
baby.
I mean, I can't say if these people are ignorant or not, but
they're
the
ignorant.
way that they are verbalizing their words sounds
they're
ignorant.
Baby, let me spare you. They're fucking ignorant. They are.
Okay, but that's right there.
It is.
You are saying that they are. Do you have proof of that?
That is okay, let me explain to you. There are some things, like if you call someone ignorant, that is not an actionable defamation word.
Okay.
Okay? Saying someone is ignorant, okay, is more like rhetorical hyperbole. It's more like it's more like an insult.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, I understand. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Clarify.
Yeah. If I were to come out and say that, okay, this particular person is a criminal.
Yeah.
That's defamatory.
Unless you have
proof that they're a criminal.
Their criminal record, yeah.
Right. And I have no criminal history.
And I don't trust anything unless it actually comes from the courts.
That's true. All right.
Don't show me a quote unquote background check that you got off a special backgrounding check app. No, go to the county in which it's happened and give me a court report. Show me proof that way.
Right. You're absolutely right on that. All right. Let's read a few. We're at 1 hour and 37 minutes. This is really good. Really good. Let's see. The thing that I very specifically want changed about free speech right now is people in positions of power that spread outright lies for misinformation campaigns and use free speech as justification, as a shield. It's the same thing I'm dealing with this guy I've taken to court.
But it happens all up the ladder. They try
to hide behind the First Amendment, and then when it comes to copyright, they try to hide behind fair use.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And they think that the First Amendment and fair use laws on the copyright end, they think both those rules are absolute, and they're not. They're limited.
Yeah.
They're not absolute.
No.
Right? There needs to be consequences for that, and right now there are none, and it's infuriating. Well, there aren't really any online unless the platform decides to remove these people, which then they just come back on a different account, even though they're not allowed to. They do that, right? And they just start over again.
Yeah.
The only way to get justice is to not take the law into your own hands. You take them to court. Like Doug Llewellyn used to say, for the People's Court with Judge Wapner, remember back in the days, right? The only option you have in the U.S. for defamation is to go to court.
Mm-hmm.
In any other country, platforms like YouTube and others are required to take defamation reports. Here in the U.S., based on Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which needs to be reviewed, and it will in the next 10 years, needs to be changed, right? To include how to better, hold these platforms accountable for all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things that needs to be changed is that defamation reports should be available to people here, for people to place here through social media carriers in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, our laws are too loose, and people are exploiting those laws. And all this misinformation this guy's talking about, or it was a lady actually is talking about, is happening because of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, people will come to this country because it is the land of the free.
And the home of the brave.
And the home of the brave. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're looking for freedom from the places that they live in their native country. Mm-hmm. That's what people come here for, to be able to feel, the ability to be themselves and have that freedom. So when we push it to a whole nother level, it's just out of control,
Yeah.
Down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay. Just a few more from this one, then we'll get to the final one. Okay. Are you actively threatening to harm someone in a plausible, actionable, specific, real-world way? Question mark says this comment. Are you knowingly telling lies about someone and in so doing directly cause real-world measurable harm to them? If there is no tangible, specific, measurable, provable, real-world harm caused, then no limits. So this is basically what defamation is based off of. Okay? That's why they were basically putting out there the questions that if you can't answer yes to these, then it's not defamation, it's free speech. That's all. You have nothing else.
No, I mean, it's plain and simple.
One more here. Dave A480 says, the U.S. got it more or less right with what we have now. Brandenburg test for incitement. Libel/slander is not protected. Dissemination of classified info is not protected. Child pornography featuring the abuse of actual children is not protected. Of course not. And free speech only restrains the government, not owners of private property. Example, social media and firms. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that is true. Because social media companies can remove you for terms of service. Mm-hmm. And they are private companies, and they don't have to abide by those rules. Mm-hmm. Which is why here in the U.S., they don't take defamation reports, but in any other country, they take defamation reports in Canada, the U.K., anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So here in the U.S., you are seeing a lot of creators do a lot of hateful and defamatory things. And every now and then, they'll get platform enforced on YouTube. They'll get a strike, or sometimes they'll have a channel shut down. And they're not allowed to come back once they get shut down, but they keep coming back, and they keep doing the same thing, and they'll last another year, get shut down again, and come back.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like here in the U.S., that's a big problem. And again, like I said, your only option is to go to civil court. Mm-hmm. That's it. And most people won't do it because either A, they can't afford the attorney, or B, they don't know how to file the case or present the case themselves as a self-represented litigant pro se. Mm-hmm. I figured it out because I got tired of being abused in this way by this one person for the last 6+ years.
Yeah.
So, and it has to be very egregious for you to want to sue someone, and it has to have caused you a lot of harm and other things for it to be worth it to go to court. In my case, absolutely. It was my only choice. I'm not going to leave YouTube. I'm not going to stop creating. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing because of what this person has done to create me harm. And ironically, over the last week or so, he has fully backed off. We do have a motion to dismiss / anti-slap hearing coming up, in less than 40 days. It'll be, I believe, from the day this is released, it'll be like 35, 36 days away. And this is a big hearing because he filed a motion to dismiss and anti-slap to try to get it removed. But he has been very, very quiet lately.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem talking about it.
It's quite nice, I have to say.
It has been nice. We'll see if it continues.
Yeah.
If he responds to this, that's on him. I mean, not going to affect the case for either one of us if he responds. No one's harming each other here. But this is what I had to do to get it to this level. If I hadn't sued, he would have continued to commercially exploit me, use my content, defame me for dollars. But not everyone has the time, desire, or energy to do this. And let me tell you, it's been a lot of work, and I am exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fighting for what I believe in, too. That's keeping me going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, one more thing. No limits of free speech, but there should still be consequences if you say hateful, harmful things like threats, for example. Threats, you can get a restraining order on somebody. And a threat is not necessarily defamation. A threat is harassment and could be stalking as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
But more so it's harassment. Stalking is if you threaten someone and then you go and you show up on their property and you yell, "Come out here," you go to their work, So, no, threats are not defamatory. It's harassment and stalking potentially.
Yes.
Right? But anyway. All right. Let's go to the final one here.
Okay.
This is from the subreddit r/legal advice off topic again. I really love this forum. And the original poster's title, babe, is oh, wait a minute. Oh, I went to the wrong one initially, huh?
I guess so.
Did I first go over? I went over. You know what?
You did them all.
No, I didn't do them all. I didn't do the first one. The first one, I went to the third one initially, and then I went to the second one, and now I got to go to the first one. Here we go. Freedom of expression versus defamation. What can I say or write and what not? We never went over this. Recall?
No, but it does go to a lot of what we said already. Freedom of expression is to say how you feel. That's what expression is, the definition. Expression is your feeling at the moment.
Yes.
Versus defamation is an attack. It's something, it's slander. It's saying, you did this. I know you did this. That's the difference,
Yeah. People defame people on purpose for many reasons. They try to gain an advantage over them publicly. It's typically to try to gain an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're in a competitive type of business and you're trying to take out your competition, you try to ruin their reputation publicly. So then the audience is all yours. The thing is that opens you up to a major defamation suit, right? But a lot of people, they don't sue for defamation. It's very hard to prove. It's very time consuming. If you have to hire an attorney, like I said, it's very costly. If you do the work yourself pro se, it's a lot of work. And if you make one mistake, you miss a deadline, you could lose the case. I mean, so, freedom of expression versus defamation. What can I say or write and what not? I went to the last one first. I had that there. And then I went to the middle one. Now we're on the far left. And this one we didn't go over. What can one post online about another person? Isn't there a fine line between the freedom of expression and defamation? If a person thinks Mr. X is a bad person, is this person allowed to write, I think X is a bad person? Does the nuance, I think, make all the difference? Partially.
Yeah.
But I would say, in my opinion, on top of that, go ahead. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. When I read this, I'm like, this sums up everything we've talked about.
Right.
And I feel there's really not much more for us to say on that. What about you? I mean,
well, like I said, this person here is saying, and let me go back because I went back to full screen here. Let's go back to the browser screen here. Does the nuance, I think, make all the difference? If you say, I think somebody did this, I don't think personally that's going to save you. I think what you have a better chance of not coming off defamatory is by saying, in my opinion. Because the thing is, it's like basically somebody getting exonerated that we were talking about earlier, and then still saying, I think they did it, they got away with it. In my opinion.
And that's all I'm trying to say is, like, we've gone over everything that this question is, you know? And so I don't know if there's much more to say on this.
Well, hold on. In other words, how can a person express his opinion online? We're talking about risk factor. We're giving examples of what's risky, what's not. In other words, how can a person express his opinion online without risking a defamation lawsuit? I am not in the U.S. Well, good for you, because we've got the loosest laws here when it comes to speech, man. Defamation and freedom of speech are far apart, right? This is just a general question. I'm just trying to understand what can and cannot be done. There is no way to post something like that to the entire world and guarantee that the world won't retaliate. Yeah, good point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What you can do is stick to things you know are true and honest opinions. Opinions would be like, I think Mr. X is a bad person, and generally not, I think Mr. X killed his sister last Wednesday. If you're going to say something like that, you need to say, in my opinion. This is clearly my opinion. I don't have any proof. I am not accusing anyone, but this is what my thought is. Don't be afraid, even if you're making YouTube videos, to be very, very clear with your verbiage. You know, to be very, very clear by, making your statement that it's your opinion. It is not a fact. I don't have any proof.
You could say it's been brought to my attention, and my opinion is this without research. You know,
that would be fine. Ultimately, it's up to the judge to decide if you get sued for that. First of all, you got to get sued for it, which is very rare, right? Second of all, if you get sued, then the judge has to hear what you're saying. And when they hear you say, in my opinion, more than likely they're going to say, well, he said, in my opinion, so that can't be a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, any normal judge would probably rule it that way. A judge having a bad day might say, well, the context matters, and in my opinion, it was just thrown in there to try to cover up defamation. If you get a real pissy stickler judge, you never know.
Yeah.
But typically when you say, in my opinion, you're saying that I'm not stating this as factual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, saying I think, in my opinion, puts me, you see, and I'm saying in my opinion every second word. Saying I think, in my opinion, could be protecting you, but I don't think it's enough.
No.
Saying I think someone killed his sister, or I believe someone did this. Okay.
I would stay safe and say, this is what I've heard.
Right.
And don't have an opinion until you know the facts.
Yeah. Yeah. Thinking and believing. Honestly, if you don't add in my opinion after that, and you state that I don't have any proof and this is not a factual statement, this is purely my opinion. I think if you say something like I think or I believe, it could be perceived as a factual statement. And again, you're putting the risk of being sued. And then if you get sued, it's up to the judge to decide your fate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you post for all the world to see and inherently beg the world to respond and retaliate, sometimes it does. That's just the cost of being online. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
That's the inherent risk of outing people on the internet. Sometimes that retaliation includes threats of a lawsuit. I used to threaten lawsuits to the same guy. I finally sued him because enough got enough. It just didn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not going to give up my dream and my purpose on YouTube just so he can keep on doing what he's doing, to harm me reputationally and otherwise. Let's see. In some cases, even an actual lawsuit. Oh, the little guy is sleeping.
He's passed out. Like snoring, passed out.
Oh, he's snoring, huh?
I could feel it.
Oh, he's comfy on that chair. I got that chair for you, so you and your dogs can have luxury when we do the podcasts or other videos or streams in here.
If y'all could see this dog is living in the lap of
it's
luxury.
a comfy chair, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. There's no way to go public like this risk or consequence free. So it's a risk reward situation. What are you getting out of doing this? Fame, money, the love and admiration of your peers, smug satisfaction versus what inherent risks are you willing to assume to try and achieve that goal? Well, the reason why people defame, in my opinion, is to make money or exploit them or to basically put them out of business so they can take your space and run with it and make the money you would have made.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens there typically, right? Or at least get the traction that you would have gotten. Forget about money. Let's just say get the traction. Once you get the traction, that could lead to money, that can lead to other things, right?
Yeah.
So they're basically trying to you're in a competitive environment in a similar field. And you have a similar audience and stuff, and they're basically trying to take your space by knocking you out, and they're using defamation to do it.
Yeah.
To ruin your reputation. Yeah. This is from a very U.S.-centric perspective. There are 200 countries in the world with a potential 199 different answers. Well, I think it's for the most part the same everywhere except the U.S. I've done my research.
Yeah.
The U.S. is the land of the free and the home of the brave. I didn't realize what that truly meant until I had to file a defamation suit, a lawsuit on somebody, and because people are feeling they're so free they can say whatever the hell they want about you, even if it harms your reputation, and make money off your name and using your content as much of it as they want, and then saying it's fair use. Like people on YouTube hide behind two shields, or they try to. First Amendment, freedom of speech, and then fair use copyright law. As long as I'm doing commentary, I can rebroadcast your entire stream as you're broadcasting it live. I can use 100% of your content as long as I'm doing... No, that takes away from the original. Go ahead.
And the third hiding place, right behind that screen and keyboard.
Right, keyboard warriors. Absolutely. Let's see here. I'm going to assume this is the U.S. because without any location, there is simply no answer. I cannot tell you Taliban or North Korean or Canadian law. Well, it's pretty much everywhere besides the U.S. has stricter defamation laws. That's let me say this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Let me say in my opinion, that's what it is. I won't state it as fact. I'll state it as my opinion. But who would sue me for saying that? Like, I'm just stating a basic opinion. I'm not even talking about anyone specific, or specifically. Let's see. Don't write false statements of fact. Well, that's what people should do. But when they're on YouTube, they got to make you look bad so they can monetize you. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me read a couple more, and then we're going to wrap it up. We are at 1 hour and 59 minutes. The mere fact that it is an opinion does not necessarily immunize it from liability for defamation in the U.S. Quoting, instead, an opinion can constitute actionable defamation if the opinion can reasonably be interpreted according to the context of the entire writing in which the opinion appears. See, I was saying that context matters. Okay?
Yes.
to state or imply defamatory facts about the plaintiff that are capable of being proved false. Malkovich versus Lorraine J. 497 U.S. 1, 18, 1990. That is particularly the case where the person speaking is seen as basing his opinion on facts known only to that person. Example, I have known Joe for 30 years, and in my opinion, he is a crook, can be acceptable, but I watched the impeachment hearings, and in my opinion, Donald Trump is a crook, is not. Well, I mean, I could come out and say, in my opinion, Donald Trump is a crook. In my opinion, Donald Trump is this. In my opinion, Donald Trump is that.
Mm-hmm.
I can state in my opinion all I want. I can insult Donald Trump if I want.
It's just like the same way he sits up there and he could say, so-and-so is just a stupid, mean person.
Yeah, he's insulting people.
He's insulting people,
It's protected speech.
Yeah,
But
same thing.
it doesn't make a president look good to be insulting people. No one should be insulting
And calling
anyone.
people stupid. I mean, of all things.
Right, listen, insults are not against the law, but that doesn't make you a good person. And insults on YouTube can get you platform enforced for harassment and bullying and all that shit, right?
And like
or
I say,
hateful and abusive content. Go ahead.
And then the only other person you have to answer to is
The big guy in the sky.
The big guy in the sky.
Amen.
That is the ultimate judge, jury,
That is
and executioner.
That is, you're right. That is the ultimate judge, jury, and executioner. You're right. The good Lord, Jesus and his Father, the God Almighty. One more. Wow. This has been good. Bad person, I think, is too vague to be an actionable opinion. No, saying someone's a bad person is not saying they're a fraud or a criminal.
No.
If people were to come out and say, I think Eli's a bad person, he's not a good human being. Okay, you're saying I think. You're saying that I'm a bad person. You feel I'm a bad person. Even if you don't say in my opinion there, you're not accusing me of any criminal activity or anything that would make me look really bad. And people know that that is just rhetorical hyperbole. That's just normal conversation about people looking at behavioral patterns and saying, I don't think this is a good person. I don't want to be around this type of person. Right? You're not defaming them.
No.
You're just basically talking about observable behavior. And here's the thing.
That you may not agree with. And so you're like, I don't want to be around this person.
A lot of people are ashamed of their behavior and what they do to make money nowadays, especially on the internet. Right? And they try to even accuse you of defaming them for calling them out on their shitty behavior, which is which you can prove within their videos, right? And so, yeah, bad person is vague. That is not defamatory, in my opinion. It has no nexus to any set of facts. The most borderline case on point I'm familiar with involved reinstating a lawsuit accusing an attorney of being an ambulance chaser, which the court noted describes an attorney who doesn't follow ethical practices. Well, yeah, some attorneys will go and look for people to represent. Mm-hmm. That's the ambulance chaser.
They're the ones in the ER waiting, around for that person that got into a injury accident, was hit. You know, that's what they mean by ambulance chasers.
Right. Now, if you want to do a commercial like we have out here, if you've been injured in a car accident, call the law offices of blah, 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 blah. That's advertising. That's perfectly legal. And you're putting it out there and saying, hey, if you've been injured, contact us.
We can help you.
We can help you. But if you're going down to the hospital and saying, hey, I want to represent you. I'll represent you pro bono. Not pro bono, contingency based. Mm-hmm. It's contingency, meaning that you don't pay me anything at all, and I get paid based on winning the case.
Yeah.
And I get 30% of the settlement or the judgment.
Mm-hmm. So
this is for lawyers that are contingency based, which a lot of them are in the bigger cases, right? And that's when a lawyer becomes more of a salesman. because they're looking at, okay, how much is this case worth? We get 30%. If it's $1 million case, we get $300,000. I get my cut for bringing in the deal, right? But are you doing it in good faith? And that's what matters most. A lot of the things that happen nowadays in the legal world and even online with creators is not done in good faith.
Yeah, it's selling yourself. It's dirty money.
Selling your soul.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's all of this. All of the above.
Absolutely. All right.
Close to dinner time. Yum.
It is. I'm getting hungry myself. All right, baby. Any final thoughts?
No, not really. Just another great podcast. Very informative, educational. And I just really want everybody to have a blessed, happy, fruitful week and just enjoy the life that you have.
Absolutely. And before we wrap it up, to try to tie all three of the postings together, notice the pattern? People feel like the internet changes the law, but it doesn't. It just changes the speed and scale. The legal system still runs on evidence, burden, and procedure. I'm going to close with some reflection here. The internet can feel like a courtroom, huh, baby?
Mm-hmm.
But it is not one. Real law moves slower, and let me tell you, it moves slow like molasses.
Yeah,
like a turtle. The wheels
like
of justice,
turtle in molasses.
they turn slowly.
Yeah,
you got to be patient, right?
A turtle in molasses.
Yeah, that's a good way. Amen, baby. High five.
That's funny.
High five. Two more.
Oh, okay. High five. 2 more.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah. Real law moves slower. It is less emotional. It requires standards. And if you live grounded in the real world, the comments section loses its power. And I'm going to end with this. We're going to end with this. That's the difference between internet laws and real world laws. With that being said, baby, it is time to start wrapping things or this up.
I know you threw me off.
Yeah, it's all good. We throw each other off, baby. All right. You've been listening to the Don Levi Take on the World podcast, and this has been episode number 50 with the title of Internet Laws versus Real World Laws. One more time, episode number 50 of the Don Levi Take on the World podcast has been Internet Laws versus Real World Laws. Okay, one more time before we get on out of here. If you are listening to us on the audio-only podcast networks such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite,
iHeartRadio.
One more time.
iHeartRadio.
And third time's the charm.
iHeartRadio.
You know that. iHeartRadio. We're also on Amazon's Audible. We're also on YouTube's Music. And we're also on all of the many of the rest of the not as popular or not as well-known audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us audio-only and you'd like to watch the video version of our podcast, go in the description section. It's about halfway down. There's a link there. If you click that link, it'll redirect you back to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, GNA, short for Genuine Networking Association. Make sure you subscribe, bang the bell, and select the notification so you don't miss anything. You can watch the audio and video version there. Also, go in that description, a couple lines down, and make sure you subscribe to our live streaming channel, our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. Subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications so you don't miss anything. We go live there very often, multiple times each week. So please join us, especially join us live if you can, and we can help you change things for the better. With that being said, time to go, baby. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.